A nation or civilization that continues to produce soft-minded men purchases its own spiritual death on the installment plan. Almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. There is nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in the length of life, devoid of breadth. The Negro needs the white man to free him from his fears. The white man needs the Negro to free him from his guilt. It is incontestable and deplorable that Negroes have committed crimes, but they are derivative crimes. They are born of the greater crimes of the white society. The question is not whether we will be extremists, but what kind of extremists we will be. The nation and the world are in dire need of creative extremists. Means we use must be as pure as the ends we seek. The sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. Whatever affects one directly, affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. The hope of a secure and livable world lies with disciplined nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, peace, and brotherhood. Since being in India, I am more convinced than ever before that the method of nonviolent resistance is the most potent weapon available to oppressed people in their struggle for justice and human dignity. Science investigates, religion interprets. Science gives man knowledge, which is power. Religion gives man wisdom, which is control. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. Oppressed people cannot remain oppressed forever. The yearning for freedom eventually manifests itself. If we are to go forward, we must go back and rediscover those precious values, that all reality hinges on moral foundations and that all reality has spiritual control. Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. And so we must straighten our backs and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent. We must use time creatively. Never succumb to the temptation of bitterness. We must build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear. History will have to record that the greatest tragedy of this period of social transition was not the strident clamor of the bad people, but the appalling silence of the good people. I look to a day when people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Everything that we see is a shadow cast by that which we do not see. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. Whatever your life's work is, do it well. A man should do his job so well that the living, the dead, and the unborn could do it no better. The time is always right to do what is right. If a man has not discovered something that he will die for, he isn't fit to live. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend.
Every man lives in 2 realms, the internal and the external. The internal is that realm of spiritual ends expressed in art, literature, morals, and religion.
The external is that complex of devices, techniques, mechanisms, and instrumentalities by means of which we live. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.